Parables Podcast, Ejay Cruz. You know what time it is. Guys, I got a legend in the building. Randall Pich, man. I appreciate you coming to the IE. Man, dude, like I told you when you first walked up to the studio, man, I don't do remote. So, again, I appreciate you making the drive down here and joining me, man. So,
of course, man. Thanks for having me. This place is dope.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it, man. A lot of work in here. This used to be just like a freaking stained carpet, bro, like nothing guest room and stuff. But hey, so listen, so on the Parables, dude, usually we try to get to know some pretty amazing people like yourself and what you do. I kind of feel I got to approach this podcast a little different in finding out what you don't do. Because, man, I feel like you got a lot of stuff going on. Was it Live Fit, Top Threads, Skylabs, professional skateboarder, going to be a professional dad soon, right?
I know, right?
Professional dad soon. So, but anyway, really try to get to know you, and the pure intent of the podcast to be pure value to people.
Okay.
Anything they could take away from our conversation, hopefully they could apply it to any area of their life. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Cool.
So let's start off. I know you've told your story many, many times, but I could promise you there's still a lot of people who don't know your story. And in addition, I'm sure we could highlight some moments that you may have not spoken about and maybe bring back some memories.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's talk about your upbringing, kind of where you grew up, how everything kind of translated to where you are today.
Okay. So I was born and raised in Long Beach, California. I grew up there, lived there pretty much my whole life. I barely just moved out of Long Beach maybe like 3 or 4 years ago when the FIT started popping off. But like I said, I was born and raised there with a single mother. My parents divorced when I was 3, so it was kind of normal for me. I wasn't sad or anything because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I just thought like, hey, I see my dad every other weekend, and then I go see my mom. I live with my mom, right?
Yeah.
So my mom raised me, obviously single, and she didn't know much. Both of my parents came from the Vietnam War, the Khmer Rouge, which was like from the cause of the Vietnam War. So they fled here, surviving the Holocaust, the Khmer Holocaust, the Cambodian Holocaust. And first they went to the Thai camp, and then they ended up in Long Beach, which then they had my brother first, and then myself, and then they divorced. So
Gotcha.
So it was rough. My mom didn't speak much English. She didn't know a lot. You know, she just had basic surviving skills, and raised my brother and I single-handedly up until high school, or even till college. So we had government help. You know, we did the whole moving around apartments. Growing up in the hood, in the east side of Long Beach. So Long Beach City is a very, very diverse city. It's a big city, and there's a ton of different areas in there. And I grew up on the east side.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a lot of people struggling there. There's a lot of gang activity there, a lot of minorities, and it's just growing up in that city, it actually taught me a lot.
Definitely.
But I was fortunate enough to obviously go to school. I went elementary to middle school to high school, all in Long Beach. And then throughout those years, I was just kind of that kid that wanted to dig his hands into everything. I was kind of fascinated with everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like if I played basketball, I was just really into basketball.
Yeah.
And then drawing or like doing that kind of stuff, I would really dig myself and try to be the best at whatever I was doing.
Like you couldn't stick to one thing, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And wanted to freaking become an expert at everything I did.
Yeah.
But it's kind of good and it's kind of bad because it takes your focus away from everything else, and you kind of just like, oh, that looks cool. Let me try that.
Yeah.
But I've learned to balance it and then use it to my advantage. So with that trait, like I grew up skateboarding. I picked up my first skateboard, I think, when I was in elementary school, 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I was just stuck with that, And then growing up with the kids that had similar backgrounds as me that didn't fall into skateboarding, and you're talking like 4th and 5th grade, that I am friends still with today. They ended up gangbanging at such a young age because of their parents,
Yeah.
So
especially in that area, right?
Exactly, especially in that area. A lot of people that from the outside perspective, they think Asians, oh no, I got it made. Like no, the Cambodians in the Long Beach area are known for like, okay, you're either a gangbanger or a skater.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
One or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah.
So I really think that the skateboarding side saved me from all that stuff, because I was outside and I would, see stuff happening, but I was just so interested in skateboarding that I would go and skate and go with the group of skaters and just do that kind of stuff, because throughout middle school, my mom, she obviously worked a full-time job, and during summer days, it was just me and my brother, home alone. Yeah. Until she got off work, she'd give us like $2 a person just to get some food or whatever. Yeah. During that time, we would just be outside, you know what I mean? And no like chaperone, no nothing, no adults around.
Just screwing around.
So
kids, right?
Thinking about it now, I'm like, man, I'm lucky and nothing crazy happened. Crazy stuff did happen, but like, I was like, dude, I'm actually alive, We've seen people just...
You're not dead.
Exactly, yeah, because that stuff is pretty, I don't want to say normal, but it's not like, not normal. Yeah. It's still active there now, so, I'm just very fortunate, I guess that looking back at it, I didn't realize I was in such a small bubble, Yeah. But besides that, like I said, I was skateboarding throughout middle school, and then in high school, that's when I started getting into like fitness and graphic designing, because I was exploring different classes, and got introduced to silk screening, and met some other friends that were in like bands and stuff. So I got into playing drums. So I was a musician as well. I played percussion from middle school through college. I played in a drum corps as well, like a marching drum corps. But with all that, I mean, if I were to sum it up, that I had, a background in making merchandise, so silk screening T-shirts. So all through high school, I got that under my belt as far as being an artist and learning how to graphic design, and then being in a band. All this stuff I was just doing for fun. Yeah. But all this fun stuff, I was learning things along the way. Yeah. That I kept still to this day, like the knowledge that you would never forget, which is like sourcing garments, silk screening, and designing, that kind of stuff. But then later in high school, my junior year, I got introduced to weight training, because I was in drumline for 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, and then I didn't want to do it anymore. Sorry, a little water break. I just didn't want to do marching anymore. Plus, people don't know, but I have a pretty messed up lower back. All my L spines are kind of pinched. That's why I don't really squat, because when I was my position in the drum line, my first year was
carrying all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
It was quints. It was the 5 drums.
Oh man!
And we had to stand at attention, and I was just like, whatever. I'll just go through it, even if it hurts, because you have to stand there. If not, you get in trouble. Yeah. So over the years, all that pressure, it kind of like messed my L spines up, all my lumbar spines or vertebrae. So then I gave that up and got into weight training my junior and sophomore year, and that's where I met my buddy Larry Camacho that introduced me to the whole bodybuilding world. And I was skinny then. You can ask anybody. My old license, my ID, I was like 135 pounds.
I think you saw some pictures online. Yeah,
it was crazy. But so when I got into that, I just got obsessed over fitness. I was like, dude, I want to be a bodybuilder. So I started working out, and then like getting trained under Larry Camacho in my sophomore and senior year. Then I finally competed in a junior bodybuilding show, and then the rest was just kind of like history. I got into physique, and later during college and stuff, I got into kinesiology, studied that in college.
Cal State Long Beach?
Yeah, Cal State Long Beach.
Okay.
Studied kinesiology. I started personal training, and just realizing like, dude, I can make a living doing what I love, because I was so passionate about fitness. When I found out there was a career opportunity in fitness, personal training, whatever, athletic training, physical therapy, whatever, this is what I wanted to do. Yeah. So that's what I did. So I started training first at Valley Total Fitness corporate, of course. Yeah. Worked my way up, built a lot of clientele, worked there for about 5 years. Was like top trainer in Southern California, like a few months. And then I finally decided to go private, meaning taking my clients and training at a facility that I rent out, and then
like a studio,
yeah. Okay. But not get hit over the head like Bally's. It takes so much of your cut. You know?
Yeah.
And then when I went private, I was able to scale a lot more with my time and value because now I can train more than one person at a time.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing group training, raising my prices, and started doing boot camps. So I would scale the revenue and lessen my time of work, you know, but still give these people a great workout and, you know, they're still seeing results and whatnot, you know.
And this is at the same time you were competing and all that stuff too, right?
Exactly. Same time I was competing. I was going to school as well, and I had a T-shirt store too. This is random that I acquired like during my college years. One of my buddies, Bruce Soth, he owned a 5 or 10 type of T-shirt store in the hood in Long Beach. And he asked me if I wanted to partner up with him because his dad was selling it off. I was like, yeah, dude, fuck yeah, because I know that neighborhood, and then these guys that go in there buy white tees every fucking day. They don't do laundry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I ended up getting that, and then I obviously ran it with him and, you know, learned a lot with Bruce with like customer service, retail, and whatnot. But I ended up selling it off fully to him. Yeah. So, but I didn't want to leave that out. That was a big part.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so I was personal training, going to school, running that T-shirt business, and then I started making merchandise for my clients that was training with me. And
training under you, yeah.
And that's when the Live Fit started like to gain traction. Live Fit was the slogan of RP Fitness, which was my personal training business. So I designed a few shirts. Being a graphic designer, I already knew how to do that.
You use your talents.
Exactly. And then, and I didn't have to do much research as far as where to get the blanks or how to do it because I did that already in high school, right?
Yeah.
So it was just like second nature to me, dude. I was like, dude, all right, I'll just make some cool shirts for my clients. We'll film it. And this was when Facebook was only there, you know? There was no Instagram yet. And I just wanted to just showcase my clients because they'll feel good too, seeing themselves work out, busting their ass off, you know, working hard. Like they want to see that, you know. And then
I was just going to ask you what made you decide to make the apparel for your clients, but that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
You knew that it'd make them feel good. They're part of like the community. Yeah.
So like being in drum corps, being in like the band stuff, especially LBJCB, which is Long Beach Junior Concert Band, I was in part of their drum corps, and it was very militant style of drumming. I played that. I was in that band for like 15 years, and this is for the city. And I've learned a lot of discipline in that. Like there's a lot of like stuff behind the doors that we did as a drum corps. Like you had to earn your stripes in there. You had to be tough. There's no talking back. It's a huge chain of command, you know? Yeah. So that's where I was instilled a lot of discipline and a lot of camaraderie. So that's where I implemented that type of culture into my RP fitness training business. Yeah. I wanted everyone that trained with me to be a part of something, not just train with me, you know? Because like when I remember being in drum corps, like when I was a trainee, all these guys were wearing like the drummer shirt that you earned with a patch, you know? I was like, fuck, man, I want that so bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you earn that shit, dude. Yeah. So then I was might as well give these to my clients because they're fucking busting their ass off, you know? I'm making them like almost shed tears and stuff, you know, pushing their bodies to the limit, pushing them mentally. Yeah. So, you know, to earn like a shirt or be part of something like that, I felt like it would just make them want to be a part of it more and then show it off as well. Yeah. Like, look how hard I'm working. Look at where I came from. Look at this group I'm training with, you know? Yeah. So when I first made my first batch of shirts and I gave them to my clients, people just started asking like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Because it was just very aesthetic too, you know, like as a designer, I'm very big on typography and just keeping it very simple, but not too much, but making it look very clean, like it was a brand. Yeah, clean, not too loud, like something like a lot of everyday people could wear, right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So then we filmed the video, we put it up on Facebook, and then when you watch it, it was like, it was just crazy because everyone was having a good time, everyone was wearing the shirt. And people started seeing that were my Facebook friends and they're like, dude, can I get a shirt? Yeah. I'm like, okay, sure. You don't train with me, but sure, why not? Also outside people who don't even train with you were asking for a shirt. Yeah. Crazy. They were obviously like in the fitness and in the industry, and it's, so they just wanted to support me.
Yeah.
And they liked the shirt, so they would message me, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. All right, $20, meet me here. So this is back then when I had an Evo 10. So I was driving that around. Yeah, dude, I would meet people up in a parking lot and literally just
from the trunk, right?
Yeah, slaying the shirts from the trunk, and that's like true,
Yeah.
There's still people that support me now that had bought shirts from me in my trunk.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy, man.
So when I was building this brand, you can say, I guess it wasn't even a brand yet. I didn't even think it was ever a brand.
Yeah. Dude, you apply. What's crazy is you applied that principle from band. And then
actually, dude, I left a huge part out too because there's so much that goes on.
Yeah.
In high school, so I was in a hardcore band.
Yeah.
We toured. I made some merch and stuff, and I had another brand that I decided to do for skateboarders.
Okay.
I had a partner in that. It was called Ruckus Clothing with my friend Matt Mayo. He was a partner with me, and we actually made decent clothes, like streetwear stuff. We sponsored rappers, we sponsored hardcore bands, we sponsored skaters and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was us at like 14 years old, because I've seen people, my friends, making brands and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I had all that experience. So then when I started getting traction with the Live Fit stuff, I started branding it like that way,
Yeah.
So back to where we were at, slanging the shirts and stuff. The whole t-shirt side of it was kind of a side hustle.
Yeah.
It actually honestly was. Like, I didn't even care for it. I was like, dude, that's dope. People like my design.
I was just going to say, was it just kind of like, oh, damn, yeah, people want these shirts. All right, cool.
Yeah, because my main focus, like I said, it was 100%, 110% my training business.
Yeah, on fitness, right?
I wanted to scale, get more clients, just build this RP fitness empire, and hopefully, open up a gym and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was making like pretty good money for the time that I was working. But then the clothes and all that stuff started taking a lot of my time to do, but I set up an online store because I didn't want to drive around anymore.
Yeah, all right, let me just ship these bad boys now.
Yeah. And then the network just got even further, because people that got the shirt started posting it, and it was really grassroots, like the organic word of mouth. It grew like that, so that's how you know that the stuff is real.
Yeah.
So then when it started getting to a point where, dude, I'm getting orders overnight, this and that, I had to make a decision, like, hey, I need to go with this full on, because it was overpowering my training business. The revenue was overpowering because I was making money when I sleep. It was consuming a lot of my time.
So were you making more money on the from that compared to the personal training?
Yeah,
maybe, at some point.
Yeah, at some point. It took a while though, because I had to build. So this is if people were to take away something from this podcast, when I started, my initial investment of the clothes, of the shirts, the first batch was $300.
Wow.
For roughly, I think 36 something shirts or whatever.
Yeah.
I slanged all of them and put the profits and whatever back into that to restock that SKU and then make another design. So then I turned one design to two designs, fully stocked up, and then that two design became just 4 designs.
Kept recycling
from that $300 because I'm good with my personal training money.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I'm living, under my means and all that stuff. I'm cool. I just want to see where this is going. Just don't touch it. Just let it roll.
It's like your eBay money, kind of.
Yeah. So then you just let it roll, and it snowballed, and all of a sudden you're hitting 6 figures, and I'm still training. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then it just kept on growing, and then Instagram came out, and I started just kind of networking a lot more, and then connecting with more people, and it just blew up. And and I was still going to college, still doing all this stuff. Yeah. So I had to make a decision. Like, I've been battling in my head for my last 4 years in college. Like, dude, what am I doing here? Yeah. Because I was studying kinesiology to become a personal trainer, but I had already been certified, and I've slaying the game already in that personal training field. I had 50 clients, just making tons of money, and then I go back to class, and I'm not knocking the students, but they're asking questions that I've already have done. So
you're basically asking, why am I getting this degree when I'm already killing it?
Exactly. And in the field at the time, having a kines degree, exercise science degree, and a certification is almost the same. Yeah. The people want results.
Yeah.
So where was I getting at? So so then I was just battling that in my head, and everyone knew too. It wasn't like a secret that that I wanted to drop out. All my clients knew because we talk, you know, we get pretty close.
Yeah.
We get intimate, you know, just because of like a lot of rest times, like we talk. But a lot of my clients at the time were professionals. Like I was training surgeons, a ton of managers, doctors, lawyers I had as clients. And they were like, no, you got to finish, you know? So, I was getting fed that shit, you know?
Yeah. I was just going to say, what were they saying? And I'm sure that was kind of clouding a little bit with your decision.
Yeah, I remember when my client Skip, you know, I love that guy. He's just like, you know, you never know when you're going to need the degree. But they're older guys, you know, so they don't understand that technology's changing, things are changing. So it was hard for me to explain that to them. Yeah. It was kind of like just talking to a blank wall.
Yeah.
So I just came to the point where, you know, I was like, I remember it was 7:00 in the morning. I don't know why I took an early ass class. I sat down in one of my Kinese classes, and because I was trading stocks at that time. Yeah, I was doing that shit too. See, I wasn't even paying attention. I was hustling, dude.
Yeah.
I was doing the stock stuff, and then I just closed my laptop, and I was like, dude, I'm over this shit.
You walked out?
I fucking walked out.
Damn, man.
I talked to one of my professors, Ayla Presla. She is the only one, I think, from Cal State Long Beach that supported me. I still talk to her today. She's a professor there. And she goes, yeah, you know what? She kind of saw what I was doing. She kind of supported it. And it's like, you know, yeah, your academic stuff will always be here, but this opportunity won't.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuck with me. I was like, fuck, hell yeah. I'm out. As soon as I made that decision, a cloud just lifted off my shoulder. And I was like, dude, I can go 110% into live fit.
So was it a hard decision? Because I feel like a lot of these critical decisions with entrepreneurs like yourself, like there's this hard decision and like people are just like, they're stressing over it. Because, you know, obviously once you let go of something that you know is stable, that, well, you know, a degree or maybe like a stable career, then all of a sudden, you know, all that guilt and like some other things start coming on you. For you, it seemed like it was just easy. It's like, no, like I'm out of here and I'm going all in now.
Yeah, because it's hard. People that know me when I was a kid, I've always been against the system. You know, even when like the bands that I was in, that's like kind of the stuff we talked about and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we knew it was corrupt. We knew everything's pretty much based around money and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, there's absolutely no way that the economy and the society is gonna keep, like, jobs are gonna keep being available. No, there's more people graduating and less people retiring. It doesn't add up. You know, what the fuck? You know, in a sense. So I'm like, dude, there's no way. The only reason why I stayed in there was kind of just to please my parents. You know, honestly, I didn't give a shit about anything else. So whatever. Yeah, and then I made that decision to fucking just leave. And like I said, it was just 110% full speed after that. And then another big decision I had to make was, okay, do I shut RP Fitness down?
Oh man,
and go full on with FIT Apparel, because now I'm giving up my clients, these guys that were been with me for 6 years plus, paying tons of money, getting results like I was their trainer, you know, like they trusted me with their life, and I was like, fuck, I had to give it up.
That's crazy. It's like you had to make two big decisions. Like usually people have to make one. It's like you had to make two.
Yeah. Yes. And this one was even harder because I was more personable with my clients, right?
Yeah.
But luckily at that time I had built the business to where I had trainers working under me that are really trusted. T and Janitor, they actually run a successful gym right now. They took on some of my clients and they still train them today, which is kind of cool. So I had a relief, like I can give my clients to trustworthy people, and I know their education, their background, they have the same knowledge that I do with everything, if not even more, you know?
Yeah.
So they started, they're like, yeah, for sure, I'll take care of your clients. So, you know, when I did make that decision, I talked to all my clients, you know.
How hard was that, man?
It was hard, dude. It was hard, man, because, dude, some of these, like...
6 years, right? I mean,
6 or even more. I remember one of my clients, she's an executive account manager for Chase. Her name is Peggy, and I've been with her for so long, and she was actually the only one rooting for me. She's like,
see, now to bring it back.
Yeah, but it was hard just to break the relationship, though. You know,
of course.
Yeah, because she wasn't going to train with anybody else.
Yeah.
So this was then, hopefully she can just do the workouts and stuff on her own.
Yeah.
You know, and she's very like, you know, needed attention and stuff because she was a little older, and you know, it was cool. But that was very hard to do. But when I did do that too, and close RP Fitness, decided to just give my clients away and then go full on with Live Fit, I felt like I was back into my childhood and just being creative, being being a designer and kind of just having fun building a brand, again, like a streetwear brand. And then I was still going heavy with the competing and stuff too. Yeah. I almost turned pro on 2014, I believe.
So that helped too, kind of market what you were doing.
For sure. That I would 100%. That helped get Live Fit out there in that respective field of bodybuilding, of physique and stuff. So I mean, that's pretty much how things got started. If we were to sum it up, there's obviously 100 million things that went on, but in the gist of it, I think that's it right there. So once I started focusing full on with Live Fit, I started treating it like an actual brand, started sponsoring people, and then it just took off. Yeah, so
it's kind of crazy because I see a couple things when you start talking about this. One, it's like you had those people who were like, "Nah, Randall, you need to stick with your degree," and even though they were saying opposite, it kind of feels like they were making the decision, like it made the decision easier for you because it just kind of reinforced, like, nah, this isn't for me. Like, I don't want to do it. Yeah. And then you get the people that support you, and then you you dropped out of school and then you closed down RP Fitness. And then you were making money already. So kind of like, it seemed like a smooth transition, or am I wrong?
Yeah, it was. As far as like financially, it was smooth. I didn't have any like financial burdens or anything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was easy to do.
I think what moving on to Live Fit in its entirety, what I find very interesting about it and why dude, I just showed you the shirt I had and everything. While I like it, you've been able to kind of just, it's like, I almost see it as a cocktail, bro. Like you put all these like cultures in it, you mixed it up. Yep. Like, was that always your plan, or did you have any doubts too? Like, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen, but screw it, let's do it.
Yeah. So when I first did my initial like shirt or line, it was very, very fitness based as far as like to the workout guys, you know, like cut off style, like sweat shorts and stuff. Yeah. And then when I started really scaling it, and I had like a t-shirt, hat, and full clothing line, I was like, dude, I can actually make this into a lifestyle brand. Yeah. So I was like, why not? Like, I don't see anyone doing it, bringing like skateboarding and surfing and just stuff that I've experienced in my life personally. Because if I put that spin onto it, no one can tell me wrong because I've already lived that life. Yeah. I feel so. It's
you identified a gap in the market, kind of.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And then I at that time too, people my age weren't skating anymore, but they were trying to get healthy and stuff. So, but they came from the skate culture or surf culture, so it was kind of relatable. So they started rocking my gear and stuff too. Yeah. So then, I just kind of put that spin on it, and then,
it's kind of crazy too because it's also like I mean, this might sound super like duh, but I mean like it's like as if like Live Fit is a representation of you. Like I said, you were all into those cultures all at once, and you were able to like kind of, and that's how how Live Fit comes out. It's like it's like a mesh of cultures. That's why I think what makes it so unique, and that's probably speaks on its success, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember when I first started and decided to brand it, and I would attend these expos, and I would look around. As far as like clothing brands, it was just like not the shit I would wear ever. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. Like I come from a streetwear background. That's like I'm heavy with that stuff, or I was heavy with that stuff. And it's just like I didn't see how it did not cross paths yet, Yeah. So I was just in this industry bringing more of a streetwear vibe to it, and like an aesthetic, more clean look, instead of just the grungy bodybuilding fucking splatter graphics and shit, So when I brought that to our first LA Fit Expo, I think 2012 or 13, people were just flocking over it, dude. They loved it, and it was just kind of something new, So I just capitalized off of that, and with my experiences, I was able to maneuver fast. I was able to just get merch fast, get stuff pressed out fast, get the designing fast, and just brand everything. Yeah. So.
Dude, that's crazy. Damn, you've been doing the Fitness Expo that long, man.
Dude, I know. I felt 2012, right? Yeah.
Whew. What's what I think is cool too is, and I know you've mentioned this, how you've been able to find like a team And I feel like you have like a good skill of finding talent. And I think you had mentioned, you know, all of this was like self-learn, like with your team, with Miguel and everybody else, all the creatives over there. Is that something that was it hard at first? Like, I find like a lot of people, like they find like hard to kind of, you know, delegate and kind of trust people because, you know, dude, this is your brand, this is your life, this is your identity, your reputation, it's everything, and it's your means of living, like you know. Like how hard was that? Like, is that something you just developed? Because like I said, I feel like you got a skill like for finding that talent.
It is hard, and people may think it's easy. It's just because like I don't showcase or post about like how hard it is. You know? But it was fucking hard. It is one of the hardest things is to find the right team and to find hard workers that had experience in just executing and working, you know, because when it was blowing up, I would just hire people that were hungry and whatnot, but not necessarily have experience.
Gotcha.
Which was a mistake, you know. I thought I didn't know. I thought everyone was kind of like me in the head. Not trying to put myself out there, but like be really dependable and really be a critical thinker. But I guess not everyone's not like that, you know. So along the years, you know, 4 years, we revamped our team actually plenty of times. But the executives and whatnot, like Miguel here and then Omar and Mike and stuff, these are the guys that are like loyal and they bust their ass off and they do things above and beyond. You get what I'm saying?
They over-deliver. They know their expectations.
You have a task, but then you do 100%, then you do 110%, you know? And then just the understanding, it's hard, dude. Like when we hire people, it's not. I would like to hang out with them first, kind of see where their head's at and whatnot. Absolutely. You know? But
it's almost like a personality test, kind of like you're trying just to feel them out. Like
for sure. Because number one, I got to be able to hang out with this person for 8 hours a day and not want to kill myself.
Sense.
You know. Two, are they really in it for the right reasons or not? You know.
Do they got people skills? Can they communicate?
Exactly. Yeah. So for example, like Miguel, Cole Photography, I met him at actually private. He was shooting for private. Okay. You know, and then I saw the work because they were carrying Live Fit, and I was like, damn, this shit's fucking tight. Like, what do you do? He's like, oh yeah, I shoot, you know, for private, all their products and stuff, you know. And then we kind of just stayed in contact, and then I finally just shot him some clothes to see what he would bring back, and it was fucking dope. So I was like, dude, you got something, you know. So then I started. We just started getting more in contact, and then I finally put him on board, you know, and from there on, it's just like...
He didn't know it, but you were like, oh, he's going to come to Live Fit.
I guess, Shout
out to Miguel, wherever the heck he's at, you know?
And then, so that's one example, and then another one was with Mike and Omar. Mike, I actually known from high school for a very long time. He actually went to school for like marketing and stuff, got his degree, and he's just like very skilled in that. And he's our ops guy, like an ops director. But he's kind of the dude that, you know, if no one does it, it's not going to move. You know, because there's a lot of people that just wait for fucking a to-do list, you know? Like, I fucking hate that. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, we just got to keep going. You know, so he has that trait. And then Omar, actually, I've known him since college. He was just kind of hanging around for a while. We were just friends. And then he was working at Taco Surf at the time. And I always tell people, servers or people like that are fucking great, especially at a place like Taco Surf, because they're managing a shit ton of things, you know.
In a fast-paced environment, dealing with customers,
pissed off, drunk people, but still managing to get shit done. And not rely on everybody else, just yourself and your brain. Like, that's a lot of complicated shit going on at a very stressful time, you know, put a lot of pressure on you. So I seen him do that, and he was fucking working like 7 days a week, dude. Crazy. And this is a year into knowing him, and then I finally was like, dude, like, you want to hop on? I need some help. Things were getting busy, you know. So I hired him, and it was just, now he does like production, manages all that stuff for all my brands and whatnot. So that was that. And then yeah, there's a ton of other people that I can go on and on about.
Like you went through phases and you had to learn. It's basically what you're saying.
But then there were some times too where people just got too comfortable. They think it's you work hard 1 year, 2 years, and then okay, give me all the money. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I'll pay you for your time and your work. You know, and if you don't work, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
Right. But then they see me as an owner in a startup. You know, I'm like, no, we're not in the same position. I mean, it's you don't own this.
Yeah.
So I pay you for your job.
Yeah.
But people just get very comfortable and whatnot. And then some of the guys that don't have experience, because I think like Miguel, Omar, Mike, they all came from corporate before.
Yeah.
They worked a corporate job, but these other guys that I've had prior, they never had that structure, so they didn't know how to take criticism. They didn't know how to grow with the company. They didn't know how to grow with the team.
Like they didn't have like that reality.
The reality check, like, hey, 3 strikes, get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's
right.
Nuts,
like the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not paying you here to fucking sit on your ass.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few of those. Obviously, I can't say the names. Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, man, it's all a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I think when we were hiring and stuff, it's gonna be hard because you really never know
until they're like
4
invested
years
in,
deep,
right?
Yeah, dude. So which is hard, but I mean it's just part of the game.
And like you said, like so sometimes people were in for a couple of years and you thought they were cool, and all of a sudden like that 3rd, 4th year, or whatever it may be.
Exactly. All of a sudden,
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah,
man.
it's wild, right?
Dude, I think one thing there might be an exodus at Taco Surf because people are going to be recruiting over there. You know what I'm saying? But do you think, because this is what I think about you, like personally, dude, like obviously I'm sure people can agree with this, like I gravitate towards you because you're a very likable dude and like you just seem like like you're the homie, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like you drink, you hang out with the homies, like you're just like so relatable, and I think that's why a lot of people attract you. I'm sure you know that. But so do you think like that kind of worked against you when you started hiring those people who got a little comfortable?
Yeah, you know what? That's funny you said that. You're the first one that brought this up, and this has been in my head forever. Just what you said.
Yeah.
I do think that way because I am so relatable. They think that I hate to say it, like when it comes to a structure and a chain of command in a business, how a business should run, there is a chain of command. We're not on the same level.
Absolutely.
Outside, when we step out the door, we're on the same level. But when we're in there, no. I have the authority. Whatever I say goes, right? Obviously, I'll take opinions and whatnot. But I think because I'm so laid back and I'm not the traditional CEO that wears a fucking tie and walks around, that they can talk to me in certain ways and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of take advantage of me, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that did happen and does happen, or did happen, so that's huge, actually. Yeah, I should speak on that more soon. That's a good topic. But even with when I go on tour and do these expos and stuff like that, other people that when they talk to me, they think that I don't understand like the business world or how shit works.
Like they overlook you.
Overlook me, for sure. I'm like, no, dude, like I understand every fucking little thing too, because I'm very hands-on, whether it comes into like the accounting department, the legal system, everything. Like I
of course, it speaks for what you've built, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So, but yeah, people do, just because of the way I look and stuff like that, they do kind of, I don't want to say kind of dumb me down, but they don't look at me the same way until I open my mouth, and then they kind of start seeing where I come from. Then they're like, oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm saying? Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. And going back to, and I want to speak on this, going back to like, your athletes, the talent that you're able to pick up. When I finally met you at the LA Fitness Expo, me and my wife, she wanted to see a particular athlete, and then to my surprise, I go there and everyone comes up like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure like I'm sure you could agree with this. It wasn't like there was a pep talk behind the scenes and Randall goes, hey, you guys got to talk to everybody. I'm sure they're all like that. And they were just like, again, the right fit, the perfect mesh for the Live Fit culture.
Yep. Right? So the way I pick my athletes is kind of the same way I pick my employees, Yeah. But this is obviously something different because they have to be more marketable and they have to be marketable. Yeah. And they have to be able to grow and be humble and just represent the brand as if they were talking on my behalf. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like with our athletes and stuff, like I do give them a little talk and lecture and stuff, but nothing crazy. Yeah. Because when I do hang out with them and before I put them on, I do get to experience their real self and where their head's at, Yeah. Because we're in an industry, the fitness industry, where it's very vague or vain. Like people get inspired by people just because of the way they look, not because of what they know and how smart they are. Yeah. Which is in reality kind of stupid, you know? Like, what the hell are you taking advice from this guy because he looks this way, you know? So when I pick my athletes, I got to make sure they're right in the head, they're humble, and then that they can grow and represent, like I said, live fit and really believe in the company as well, you know? So yeah, that's how that goes about.
Is that a culture you think in the fitness industry is kind of changing and you're trying to represent too? Like, you know?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard though because we are,
I think it's important because, dude, I have to admit, man, fitness is freaking everywhere. It's related to almost everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, like freaking like 75% of my guests, they're all tied to fitness some way or another. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think now, because ever since I got introduced to the bodybuilding industry, coming from the kinesiology side of things, the more educational side, there's two sides of this whole fitness industry. There's the health and wellness side, which I know very well, and then there's the bodybuilding, the stuff you see, the expo side, which is just bro science, a bunch of bullshit. Right? Yeah. But what's being represented is a mesh of all that shit, you know. But the people that have a voice are the bullshitters, right? That have the bro science stuff, and versus the real science, but they're not like big or ripped, so no one really wants to follow them. So, but they do have the education and stuff, and you know, are telling people the correct ways to do things, you know? Yeah. So I come from now both sides, and seeing the two, I'm trying to just like teach everyone or educate people the right way, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Things, you know? That's why I am doing like my workout program for the app I'm filming. Yeah. Like I want to make fitness a big part of my self now again, as far as being or educating people about it. You know?
I think that's dope. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because you know, obviously Live Fit's at fitness, your background's fitness, but it seems like you're diving back with that app now. You're diving back into kind of like your roots. You want to teach and educate people and all that stuff. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Did you always want to do that? Like go back into it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess because like leaving personal training, going into this other industry that was pretty new to me, I just felt like there was a huge gap, like I said, of people knowing what the right or wrong things are, you know, to do. Yeah. People giving the wrong type of advice, horrible nutrition advice, and it's crazy because people really believe that type of stuff when, you know, you see it just because of the image, and it's not, they don't ask for credentials or anything like that, you know.
And bro, it's fucking dangerous, man.
It's like very dangerous. Yeah, it's like, dude, you got to be a doctor to kind of just give someone like a diet plan. You got to be a nutritionist, you know. We learn in school like it's illegal to give someone a diet plan. Straight up, if you're not a nutritionist, if you don't have a license.
There comes a sense where there needs to be credibility, right?
Exactly. Like, yes. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully I can change it or start to change it. But I don't know. It's so big, the industry and what people are being fed. I don't know if I can make a difference or not, but I can certainly help, especially with like Live Fit and stuff. You know, because that's one thing we do too in our mission statement is we help people lead a more healthier and fulfilling lifestyle. Yeah, you know what I mean. So we're not just about like having big muscles or being the most ripped. No, we want people to just live well. Yeah. And when I say well, that's with the mind, body, and everything. You know what I'm saying? So.
Bro, that's dope you're doing that, especially for a man of your position, man. The influence you got, bro, like going back to your roots and trying to preach the right stuff. You know what I mean? You know, going back to, dude, you're doing the app, Live Fit, Top Threads, and all this other stuff, man. I almost feel like you're doing too much, man. Yeah. But like, you know, like... And that's not like in a bad way. I'm just saying, man, dude, like where I'm trying to get at is, man, how's that played in your mental state, and how did it take a while for you to like learn how to juggle all that?
Yeah, it's very overwhelming. It's crazy because every brand or everything has to have 110% of my attention. Of course, yeah. But with Live Fit, I was able to build such a crazy infrastructure. When we were blowing up and scaling. We never contracted outsiders to come help us out as far as like shipping and logistics, all that kind of stuff.
Like outsourcing?
Yeah, outsourcing customer service. We always did that in-house because I didn't have time to do it and I didn't know that was even an option. So with the infrastructure and whatnot that we built from Live Fit, now we've worked so hard to where we were able to do another brand and kind of just plug and play into our system that we have and just create another brand.
And is that also because you know you have control? Because where you're outsourcing, those folks or whoever they may be, they could screw up, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, as a streetwear clothing line, to have a 9 to 5 call a person on call, like which we have 2 customer service representatives on call all the time. Like that's unheard of.
Unheard of, right? I was gonna say that's crazy,
like,
dude.
Streetwear brands like back in the day, you go on their return policy. Sorry, no refunds. Fuck you, right? Like,
yeah, dude, and that just speaks on like, dude, I cannot stand it when like I call a credit card company and I'm talking to a freaking robot, man.
Yeah, or some dude in India, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, don't even get me started there. Yeah, dude. That's just funny. Like when I had my AT&T security, like I was talking to some person in India. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what's with the entrepreneurial space? I've always felt, at least from an outside perspective, I'm sure many people could agree with this. Being an entrepreneur, I'm sure that you've always like, man, I want to be. Iron sharpens iron, right? You want to hang around like other people who will, you know, you want to be like the dumbest guy in the freaking room, right? You want to learn, you want to be around these guys. I almost feel like it's a fraternity, like when like all these like elite high performing entrepreneurs like hang out with each other. Right. Does it fall naturally like when you get to a level like that, or is it something that you have to gain or like get the respect from? What do you? I mean,
a little bit of both.
Okay.
You know, for myself. I kind of put myself out there, you know, because I used to model like back in the day and stuff too. So when I had LiftFit, it was pretty easy. I could just model my own clothes. Yeah. That caught on. So then with that, I gained a social media following. I started competing, like you said. Yeah. So it was easy for people to reach out to me and connect. Yeah. You know. So then that wasn't too crazy, but like I could see now, like we're guys that are just super successful that have like crazy restaurants, and you know it's hard for them to get out there, but I mean they are reaching out and getting out there, but you know it's kind of different. Yeah, I don't know, it's a
little bit of both.
Probably both, man.
Yeah, because I almost feel bad. I tell you, when you see like these entrepreneurs hanging around like at the dinner table, I'm like, man, I need that invite. You know what I mean?
No, trust me. Like the inspiration and motivation is cool, but sometimes the industry is so far apart. Like I can't relate, you know, as far as like the business tactics and the tedious stuff. But we relate as far as like the overall picture, like how to really scale, how to maximize your time, how to enjoy life.
Like the principles still apply.
Exactly.
Everybody. You know what I'm saying?
But no, it's been great. You know, like with the network I have now, obviously with like Bedros, Mikey Taylor, all those guys, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, like those guys I can talk to whenever and wherever, and they would pick up the phone, answer my text like whenever, you know? Yeah. So it's cool to actually connect to those guys, you know, because with Bedros, I used his business principles when I was a trainer because he coaches successful trainers too. Yeah. So I used his principles way back, and then now it's just crazy. Fucking like 10 years later, I'm like really good friends with him now. Yeah. Like that's fucking a
like trip. You never would have thought that.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. You know?
You know, with apparel, like they always, a lot of people always say like how crazy it is, how cutthroat it is. Is it really like that, man? Like in your opinion? Because you have like multiple brands. So.
It is. Yeah, but before that I had multiple brands that failed. A lot, you know. It's just, and it's only getting harder too. But I can say starting a brand, a clothing company, and having it be successful is probably one of the hardest things to do ever. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in the industry. Yeah. I've heard this from all the other entrepreneurs I've talked to. Yeah. Even Bedros and Andy and stuff like, dude, it's insane what the fuck you've done, you know? Yeah. So I mean, I recognize that, and it is very, very hard because you have to have a mission, a reason of why, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it has to come from a story or come from a place, I believe, and that's what, you know, that drives the traffic.
I was just gonna say, you have to have a story, a message, and definitely build a community right behind it, right?
Yeah, because there's 2 ways to go about it, or obviously maybe it could be more, but you can make really, really dope clothes and sell that. Just be different as fuck, you know, and make just absolutely insane different, you know, or you can create a brand where you bring in value mentally, and then whatever merchandise, obviously some good quality shit too, and then people will attach themselves and buy that. But from my experience and perspective, I believe building a brand is far more valuable because the sustainability and the longevity is going to be way longer than just a product that goes and then, you know, it's here for fucking 2 years and it's gone, you know? When you have a brand, you're attaching emotions to it. And then that's when people fall in love with the movement or whatever your mission is, you know, because once you get people's emotions involved in whatever you're selling or whatever you're you're trying to what product, whatever, tie it to.
Yeah.
That's when you really get the loyal customer base and get the get a real effect on of the impact of what your brand can do.
So it's definitely more than just slapping a design on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
or just
for
like
sure.
Designs. Like you could be a talented designer with a dope thing, but at the end of the day, like
Dude.
the emotional attachment and all that stuff definitely applies, right?
I've seen so many graphic designers that are fucking so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that shit is so tight. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could do that,
Yeah.
But they start a brand, but no one gives a shit.
Like there's no mission.
There's no mission.
it.
Like, dude, that shit's tight. Maybe they could sell a few here and there and make it go viral one time.
Yeah.
Like I said, one time, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then you cash
great.
out.
Yeah.
So, but my approach, like I said, it's just the value, the impact.
Mm-hmm. Is dude, obviously Live Fit, Top Threads, massive scale, worldwide, international.
Mm-hmm.
I actually spoke to a homie of mine who started his apparel line. He's in the beginning stages, but one of the things that really stuck with me, because with me also, I would love to start an apparel brand. And one of the things he told me, like, Ejay, one of the best things like that still like makes me feel great is just when I don't know somebody and I see someone rocking my shit. You guys, you're clearly a massive scale. Do you still feel that way, man, when you see somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Describe that feeling to us, man.
Dude, it's, even like, fuck, when we were in like Australia and I see some dude wearing Live Fit, I'm like, fuck. Like that,
Damn.
it's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
Just being out there, just seeing, especially the guys that don't know you, know? Because at a point, it was just like, oh yeah, that's Randall's coming. Then it comes to a point where I would stare at somebody and smile, and then dude's like, fuck you smiling at?
They don't know it's you?
They don't know it's me. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should stop now,
Who's this weirdo?
So, yeah, dude, just motherfucker smiling at me. So it got to that point, I'm like, dude, that's fucking dope. That makes me even happy. And I tell my guys all the time, I like that more when people wear my shit and then they don't know who I am. I love that,
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck, dude.
That's just how I feel when I told you earlier, like, dude, like, who the heck are these people listening to my podcast? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, people are listening up. If whoever's tuning in or are about it, man, that's traction. That's traffic. That's good, dude. Like, you're affecting people. You're taking time from somebody else's life to bring it into yours,
Dude, it's crazy because I almost feel like I look at that stuff too much, like stats and numbers. But then I'm just like, dude, like, this is like across the world, man.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. That just, it still blows my mind.
Yeah,
man. But,
for sure.
But, we talked about, like I said, dude, like, obviously people, like, gravitate towards you. You're such a likable guy. I feel like a lot of people know who you are. Mm-hmm. Is there something you feel like a lot of people don't know about you?
There's a lot still, I guess. I mean, I recently just posted shit of like skating and then playing drums and stuff like that. There's just, I don't know, like what incidents or I don't know.
No, just like something they don't know about you. Like, I mean, is there something like maybe that, maybe a trait or a characteristic of yourself that people within maybe your workplace definitely know about you, but for sure that probably other people don't, like the public eye?
I don't know.
We might have to ask Miguel on that, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him. I don't even know.
Yeah.
No one really knows, but you're fucking, this dude is super fucking good at Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, yeah. Dude, Street Fighter, Third Strike, specifically. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if you ever played that, but dude, so funny story, during my college years, because I don't pay attention in class, I would leave and go to the arcade at the student union. They had Street Fighter Third Strike, and I would just fucking play that. And just got really good at it. I actually entered a tournament at Cal State Long Beach. Yeah, it was like a $5 buy-in. Obviously, I lost, but yeah, I'm like really into that.
I'm laughing because I was expecting like, oh, people don't know, but like, yeah, I'm a great cook or something. And also it's like Street Fighter. That's what.
Yeah. No. I guess, I was in search and rescue too.
Nice.
Way back in the day, I was going to be a firefighter. I don't really talk about this much because this was like right before I got into college.
Oh, okay.
So like in my end of high school year, I was training to be a firefighter. I went to Long Beach Search and Rescue. I passed that academy, did like a 12-week gruesome like academy, and then when I got accepted to Cal State Long Beach, so that's when I was like, okay, let me do the college route. Yeah. A lot of my buddies went on and became EMTs or firefighters, but so with that, like the hobbies of like rock climbing, doing all the outdoor stuff, that stuck with me, because me and the boys used to go to like Joshua Tree and rock climb and rappel and do all that kind of stuff. So that's something that I like to do, and not a lot of people know.
Sounds like it translates to like ultimate fitness too, a little bit.
Right.
Being
active, just being out there outdoors with nature and stuff. Like I love that stuff. I don't do that much often anymore because I'm obviously behind a desk and shit. But I love like being out camping,
like a snowboarding.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Exactly.
So cool.
Yep.
So obviously on your journey, Randall, your entrepreneurship journey, I'm sure you learned a lot. I'm sure there's like countless things that you could bring up and we could start talking about and go past the recording limit. But, you know, and a lot of people, when they start talking about what they've learned in their entrepreneurial journey, they talk about like, what they learned in their business, all this stuff applying to where they want to take their company and things like that. Is there something in particular that comes to mind that you think entrepreneurship has taught you personally as a person?
As a person, how to really suppress complicated scenarios and how to deal with a lot of bullshit, you know?
De-escalate shit.
Yeah, but without being so hot-headed, you know?
Yeah.
Because I used to be in a hardcore band. I came from the hardcore scene. Like, we used to get into scraps all the time. Like, it was, you know, like, I can't, to even think I was like that, like, you know? It was just kind of weird because I'm so calm now, even when in, like, the crazy situations. I'm just like, you can't do anything. It already happened. Let's just fix it. Or what do we do to fix it? You know what I mean? In the most calm way or whatever.
So it sounds like a little patience.
Yeah,
right?
Oh, dude, it taught me a lot of patience, you know, especially dealing with like the government, the tax laws and shit like that. Like, dude, this shit moves like a fucking snail.
Yeah.
You know, so entrepreneurship, dude, it taught me to be very, very patient and to think without your emotions, to make decisions not based on your emotion, but based on what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Not based on how I feel because I'm mad at this scenario because this person did this or whatever the fuck happened. No, it taught me to make decisions just based on what's right. What's
the logical thing.
What the logical thing is
rational
to do.
Thing,
the rational thing, you know, because I see this a lot with guys that have big companies or whatever are trying to do it. They make irrational decisions and do stuff based on their emotions because they're pissed at this one guy. And I'm like, dude, a year from now, you're going to look back like, dude, I should have shut the fuck up. I shouldn't have done that. You know, and I never wanted to do that again because I used to do like things like that, you know.
So you've done that.
I've done that before, for sure. You know, and it was a learning curve. And then now I look back, I'm like, why the fuck would I even ever open my mouth? You know, like, care. Yeah. You know, there's only you can only do so much. Yeah. So now it's just like I think that's a really big characteristic or trait that I've learned.
Sounds like just staying focused in your lane, but also definitely what's the word? Emotional resilience, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Just doing what's right, like you said, like logical instead of irrational decisions. You know, based on because you're fucking pissed.
Yeah. Take a deep breath, but just continue to do what's best for you, your company, your team, and all that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Damn, man. What do you think is, dude? I feel like. Oh, actually, you know what? One of the things that really stuck with me, man, that you said, man, it was crazy, was the fact that, you know, obviously Live Fit is just continues to scale, continues to grow. You're always trying to open doors to new opportunities, things like that. And one of the things that you said that really stuck with me, that I thought was incredible, you said, man, a lot of people keep, you know, coming up to us, hey, Randall, we should do this, or you should do that. You should think of Live Fit with this. And you straight up just blatantly said, the beauty of it is we could do whatever the fuck we want. Like we have our own, like we're taking things to places where other people haven't, like you know, things like that. Do you think like that works to people's advantage, especially your guys's? Like that counts to part of your success, like just doing your own thing, no matter what people say to do, like going out of the norm.
No, 100%. That's how you fuck your brand up. If you start listening to shit that you don't know anything about and getting into an industry you don't know anything about, like then you are no longer talking on behalf of your brand. That person that fed you that idea is talking now, and then that shit is overpowering why you started this brand, where you came from, everything else.
Almost like infecting your mind a little bit.
Exactly. It's like a fucking virus, you know. So I mean, it's obviously good. I'll hear people out. I'll take you know, I'll listen up and see what they have to say, and then not close all doors, but I always stick to our roots and what we know well, you know. And it's true, like you said, I can go in any industry or whatever. Like if I want to do rock climbing, really fully kill it, I could fucking do that, you know, but I just don't want to do that because I have other things I want to focus on. And I think with Live Fit, it is good where it's at, and we're not done in our niche, you know?
Yeah.
So
it sounds like kind of like you still listen, but you still stick to your roots. You know, you really, like, you got to have that sense of clarity and stick to your agenda and your mission.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I always hear everyone out, you know, and then because sometimes it might be a good idea, or it might spark something else. Yeah. So I always hear people out, but as far as taking it into initiative, it depends, you know.
Yeah.
So,
man, so we're gonna be running out of time soon. I do got 2 more questions I gotta ask you, my man.
Yeah.
So first one is, dude, Live Fit again. Just like, it's just been. Dude, as you guys saw when I showed you like the throwback tees, maybe I'll show it real quick, but the throwback tees that I had, it's just been crazy to see like the growth, you know, the scale of where you guys are now. Mm-hmm. What's the overall picture for Live Fit? Without going into details of letting some, you know, new release things or new, 5, 10, 15 years from now, like, what do you see for Live Fit? Like, what's the grand goal?
To be a representative of our culture, I guess, the guys that are not necessarily like into crazy fitness, but just live a healthier lifestyle. I don't know. Yeah. Just being relatable, you know, having I don't know, the overall picture. But obviously, like, I want like gyms and stuff like that, and, you know, be around the world and have.
We're gonna get to that too.
Yeah. But
like for Live Fit, just continue to be a powerhouse of preaching healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Putting out some quality merch and things like that.
Letting the world know that this is how we live in California.
Let's go.
Sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's go.
I guess you could put it like that. Yeah.
And then, you know, the last thing to end, because again, Randall, freaking likable, relatable dude. As an entrepreneur, man, where would you like to see yourself in like 10, 15 years further down the line? As an entrepreneur, like in itself, in its entirety. Like, who knows, dude, you might be owning like a couple more companies aside from, you know.
I would like to acquire more companies than I already have. Diversify the income and stuff, you know, get more into real estate, and then just really start being able to enjoy my family because I'm having a baby.
Yeah, congrats on that, by the way, man.
Yeah, so like that's already running through my head, you know, like I just want to be there because I know, and Miguel and everybody else could attest to this from the year that we started and going full speed, it's a blur. Yeah. We don't know when the fuck 2015, 16, 14, we're like, when the fuck it all was the same.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I don't want to live like that. Not saying it's bad. It's good when you're starting up, but now I need to slow down and I want to start doing traditions as far as for myself, for the company, for our family. Yeah. So you have these benchmarks to remember the time of place where you're at, you know, and the year. So that's where I see myself, you know, having more financial freedom, which I do now, but maybe less involved, finding more executives or maybe getting more executives on board. Yeah. And just more delegation, but still be involved enough to where I'm still growing as an entrepreneur and I'm still kind of, I mean, let's say the face of it, but involved in some way, you know?
Definitely, because it's like it's like your baby and baby, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You ever see yourself too, because again, for a man of your influence, you ever see yourself trying to get in that space of maybe not mentoring, but definitely still trying to inspire others and, you know, kind of guide other people who are looking to get in that?
Yeah, that's actually going to be part of the RP app too as well. Nice. I'm going to have entrepreneurial side to that with a subscription based, especially those who are trying to start clothing lines too as well. But as far as like being a speaker and stuff like that, I don't know if that's my thing. I've obviously got a lot better at speaking and articulating my words just because I've been doing these kind of things in the past, a lot of them. But after speaking at Bedros' FBS, which is fucking legit, I spoke in front of like 2,000 successful like millionaires already that have their own business. And I was fucking nervous, dude.
I think I saw that footage,
I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking shit myself, dude.
Yeah.
But actually, when I finished it, I felt fucking great. You know,
getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of was like, I want to do it again. But to think back to the time right before, dude, I I was fucking, my anxiety levels were up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I doing? Don't fuck up.
Yeah.
I remember I was eating French fries in the lobby, and I was like, dude, I don't even fucking taste it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
But who knows, like 5-10 years down the road again, we never know where your path, people,
Exactly.
You never know.
Yeah.
Freaking, who knows? You author, more of a speaker, who knows. Yeah. But anyway, dude, hey, Randall, I appreciate you being on the Parables, man. Dude, I appreciate the gifts. You already know what time it is. You got to sign the legendary canvas for all the legends on here. Right. I don't think it's no secret, but just in case, man, can you tell everybody where to find you? Your handle. You can find I have a personal website too, is randall-pich.com, and then on there you can find like FIT whatever, and then my IG is Randall_Pich, and you can just go on Google and just search it and it should pop up. For sure, man. Randall Pich, legend in the building, Parables podcast. Man, as of this recording, I just told them too, man, it keeps 18th country, man. Shout out to everybody that's been listening. I appreciate y'all, man. It's just really, I like to sit down and just have conversations with really cool people, impactful, amazing people, man. And hopefully you guys just take away something out of this, man. Positive energy, folks. Let's get it. Parables, we're out.